This is LaSalle Legends. And look at this play. Philly special! Why not? Philly. Here's Waller. Waller goes behind his back. LaSalle with two. At the horn. Hits it! Ball game.
Unbelievable.
Shot from an off angle, they score! Daniel Sambuco with 28 seconds left. 4-3, and then LaSalle with 28 seconds left. They get one more. They score again, and they lead 5-4. Here's Kiska on the drive. Timby, an open three. Good! Jake Timby does it again.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of LaSalle Legends, where we sit down with some of the greatest athletes and teams in LaSalle history and relive their finest hour. It's a return to the Penn Relays, as we did our opening episode about the 2013 distance medley relay team. Tonight, it's the 1996 4x800 meter relay championship of America team, as a group of four guys had to muster through in the morning in order to earn the opportunity in the afternoon. We have Jim Tate, Tom O'Connell, Chris Ward, and Mike Kerr alongside, along with head coach Pat Devine, longtime head coach and a man who has Devine Track at LaSalle College High School named in his honor, a true legend, sitting with us here tonight. Guys, welcome, and thanks so much for making time for this evening and re-experiencing this together as a team. It was really an incredible run to get to where you guys were, but if you could, bring us through a little bit of the backstory. What were some of the important moments in getting to the Penn Relays in late April?
Yeah, I just noticed, I talk about the Penn Relays, but after the Penn Relays, there was a couple races that I think I'd like to bring back were really memorable in our time. Certainly the Penn Relays is what we're talking about, but the Colonial Relays, we went down there and we won that. Yeah. Great leadoff leg by Chris. Nobody else had to run hard because he had it opened up. The thing that turned our season around personally was the state indoors when we won that. When we ran the 8:02, and I say, we're getting there. We're beginning to arrive, and we set the state record. And then we went up to Boston for the nationals. And when we ran 7:55.3 there, I think it was, and that time I knew we had arrived. We were going to be really good, and we were. And a lot of it was because I think we had a combination. You guys worked hard, you believed in yourselves, and you believed in each other. I came up with a feeling that I called it the Four Amigos. That's exactly what it was. Everybody had a role to do, and if you didn't do a role, if you didn't fulfill it, the hard thing was to pass the baton to Tom, knowing what would happen if you weren't where he wanted you to be. Is that right, Chris? Mike?
Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah. You feared Tom more than you feared me. But I think we had that confidence in each other too, and we knew each other had a role to play, and you guys went out and did that so perfectly, So I think the indoor nationals, even though, we did lose to
Brooklyn Tech.
Was it Brooklyn?
Yeah, right, Tech. And I found out, I went back and researched in that same race, unfortunately, the team that beat us when we set the school record was St. Michael's. They ran 8 flat in that race. They were They were 6th in that race, in the same race we were in there up in Boston, when we got invited to that. So that was memorable. And is that the day? Did we go to Cheers that while we were up there? Did you remember that? I remember going into Cheers. It was closed, but somebody drove us.
I might walk by it.
Yeah.
We're saying at the Tuesday Chalet or something like that. I remember the hotel very, very distinctly, and the restaurant there. It's usually where we're hanging out for the most part.
Okay. Yeah, well, it was a lot of snow, but that Reggie Lewis Arena was really nice.
Yeah.
That was really nice. And I think we saw some great races prior to ours, and that kind of set the tone. And
I think that was our first time running on did we run in the Armory indoors in high school?
we did not.
First bank track experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was outside of Lehigh and wherever else we ran.
That was our first bank track. It was also our first Mondo track that we ran.
Yeah, that was a Mondo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that facility was brand new. I was
Beautiful.
It was Mondo, but Jim, it wasn't banked. It was not banked. That's the thing too.
It had a slight bank to it.
Reggie Lewis was banked.
Yeah. It wasn't as big as the Armory or.
Right.
No, it was really tight.
But it was like a 3-foot bank. It was a slight bank.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not even that much.
But that was a and we got those guys back at the Penn Relays, and then I think the other thing that really clicked was going forward. First outdoor was Colonial Relays.
Mm-hmm.
When we went down there, and we ran 53.4, so we dropped a couple seconds from the indoors. Then I realized, you guys are really special. You guys really do something great, and which we ended up doing, and you guys did. And I still remember when we see the Penn Relays doing the 51. Frank Bartucci, after North Penn went to the States, which we didn't go to, and they ran 49.8. And Frank Bartucci called me and says, "Coach, you guys going to try to beat North Penn?" And I said, "No, we're going to beat our school record," which was 49.1 at that time. And those guys was 1983, and that was Tom Shallow, John Corcoran, Dave Cassell, and Steve Gallagher. And they ran the 49.1, and they also came back in Penn Relays and ran 10:13.4 the next day Friday night in the distance medley. The same 4 guys. So that weekend they had a great weekend. That was also a school record at 10:13.4, and so the same 4 guys did that. So that's the record you guys beat, and still stands today. Was it?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, still stands today. No one's gotten real close to 43. Made a couple of 50s, I think, but that was it. And then, of course, after Penn Relays, we just had the Catholic League champs. And I think Ryan won it, McDev was second, we were third. We had like 97 points, but that was a great time. You guys swept 1, 2, 3, 4 in that 800 meter.
That's right.
We won the 4x8. Then we end up at the end of the day, kind of get some icing on that cake, winning the 4x4 over McDevitt. That was sweet.
That was like a classic.
Came through for us. Skittleman came through.
And a classic like PD. Yeah. You guys you're not running the 4x4. I got plenty of guys, and the race is over. Like, oh, listen, don't take your spikes off. Stay with. You guys are running the 4x4.
Yeah, that's what we did. We didn't take our spikes off. We just it
was like 20 minutes.
Just warmed up and stepped on the track.
And it kind of like knew it was coming.
Don't change there,
There's
guys.
a lot of attrition. Somehow some of the sprinters all came up lame for the last race of the day.
I can tell you. Things do not change there.
And the one that ran's like, I'm not running leadoff. I'm like, you're not on this relay unless you're running leadoff. I don't want to hear.
Who's that, Chris?
Gittleman. I was like, you're running leadoff.
Oh, yeah.
You bet you are.
You guys threatened him too. You threatened him, and he ran his best split of the year ever. He ran a great leg, scared, but he did what he had to do. So, and I think then when you guys swept the 4, and coming off the turn, there was only one guy that he was still 5th.
Yep.
Who do you think it was? Oh, that's right, Michael.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Exciting if I'd have to kick past like 6 people on the last 50 yards. Man.
I don't know if he was 5th. He would come from the dead. You're like, oh my God, there's Kerr. Thank God.
Every time. Same race every time.
Yeah. It's I remember that. Oh, come on, and you did it, and we swept it. And I think then at that moment, and then we came back for the 4x4, we decided we'd go after the school record up in Iona Prep up in New Rochelle, which was a great day. But
Yeah, and maybe that's a good point to segue into the main event here. Penn Relays, right? The 4x8. We have the 4 guys here, as well as head coach Pat Devine on Salle Legends. And this will be a great experience to walk through this together. And we want to get inside your heads as a team. Certainly, we got a lot of the backdrop of what got us to this point, and really one of the greatest athletic accomplishments in the history of LaSalle College High School, which is saying a lot.
The prelims tells a good story because it ended up being a lot more work to get into the final than I think we all anticipated. So it was a I think that was there's a lot of backdrop to that part of the story as well.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're all wearing a blood pressure cuff, we can monitor how high our blood pressure comes in the next 9 minutes.
yeah, that was really a moment at that time that being in the stands as a coach, I don't know what I said. I don't want to tell you what I said or thought throughout that whole race. And I think we were ready, definitely ready, as we proved throughout in the indoor season, and we were ready for that point coming off Colonial Relays. And then we had a good time in Westchester at the CB West Relays, which we interchanged guys in different races. We didn't go for the 4x8. We went to the sprint medley and set records and stuff like that. But I think we really felt we were going to get into the finals. And we ended up
newspaper, we were quoted. We said we were going to win it.
Yeah.
We were primed to win it. So when we had a ton of pressure on us, and we were on the back line, number 1 on the rail. It's like the absolute
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bullets.
How many teams are in the heats? The heats run from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I think
Easily 18
teams.
Yeah, I think 17. I think they selected 34 teams from the small schools and 34 from the large schools. And then they took the top 12 times at the end of the 4 races. Yeah. That's how they did it.
So. It wasn't like guaranteed to on time. It was ever top 12 times.
Top 12 times, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
From all 4 races. Of course, I think we were the 4th race. And my job at that time was I had my stopwatch on, counting all the teams, all the times from anybody under 8 minutes or 8:05 or something like that. And, that's, and then our race started. And so it was hours to get in. But we had to work at it.
You're not going to see it, but you remember that we got called back.
Yes.
Right. And I got out well. I was leading off. And well, the first time the gun went off. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get out well the second time. I caught an elbow right from the gun. And
right. Do you know why they called them back, Jim? Or did someone fall? Or
somebody fell. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
18 teams in 5 lanes. Penn Relays.
I'll do it.
up and back. Yeah, it was tough.
Somebody fell, which was terrible because I was out fast and was in the catbird seat right where I like to be.
Right. Yeah.
And they call you back, and it's like, all right, line up, boom.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I don't know if you know, Bob Burdett, who was the organizer of the high school, he was going to disqualify us for. Somebody said that you raised hit somebody with a baton or something like that. I don't know if you did or not, but Paul Poise from McDevitt said no way, that didn't happen. So he overruled Bob Burdett as a starter. And
I can neither confirm nor deny it, but friends in high places.
The video will show here. It's very short.
It's coming now.
I might have to say I don't doubt it might have happened.
Yeah.
So we'll watch it together now here on LaSalle Legends.
All right, so here's us line up. We finally got out of the paddock area, which we were probably there for like 45 minutes. It's like
yeah, move you up in tears.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So, all right, now we're lined up. You kind of get a sense of how many guys are on the line. This is when they called us back.
Yeah, there was about 18 guys, I think. I think
They
Tom
see me. All right, There I go. I got spit out the back.
I see.
So got a terrible, terrible start, which was not good. You don't think about the Penn Relays is you really don't get any second chances. So right off the bat, I'm doing poorly.
And this, of course, is the prelim, guys, right? So this is one of what you said, 4 heats, and the top 12 get into the Championship of America, which is later that day. So you've already seen 3 heats come through. Coach Devine, you said that you've seen and have timed all the potential competitors, right? And so now you know what's in front of you here.
Right. I know to get in, we had to break 8 minutes to get in.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the key, to break 8 minutes.
So I'm all the way in the back, fighting with all these guys, and I'm kind of a front runner. I like being up front.
Yeah, I see.
Where all the action is, and I'm all the way in the back. I'm out in lane 2 for pretty much the entire race, and I get through 500 here, and I'm already spent. You know, this is what they lift, carry me through. All those guys up there are the guys I usually run with. And I'm just dying right now. I keep trying to do it to the well, but there's nothing there. And I'm just losing space.
Got the exchange now. I got that.
Yeah. So right now I'm thinking we're toast. There's no chance we can make it into the finals, which is terrible because this is the meet that, Tom and I and Coach Devine had basically circled on our calendars from the year prior. This was our goal.
Right.
So I'm handing off to Mike, and he's got so far behind.
So I was trying to make up space here, but I was also mindful not to spend it all. And I think there was somebody in the track saying, easy, take your time, run your race. So I was trying to listen to that. I thought I was going to zoom past about 8 people in the beginning, but a couple guys, basically were running with me. So I said, all right, I'm just going to settle in. I don't think everyone kind of knows my race, but I kind of hung in there. I was always a good finisher, but I always had a trouble in like the middle, 400 to 600 of any race. So at this point, I knew I needed to make up ground. But I was trying to keep myself calm so I didn't spend myself because I wasn't really a super fast starter, at least at this point in how I ran. So, at this point, if you'll see it in every 800 that I ran until the end of the season, I started to fade a little bit, almost tripped over right there. The guy behind me, and so started to move here. Here I was definitely winded, but still felt okay. I felt like I had something left in the gas tank. So I was just kind of lining myself up to be able to make up some ground towards the end.
Mike, what place are you guys in at this point? I mean, certainly there's a lot of guys in front of you here. 7th or so?
No, I think we're.
Oh no, we're probably about
12,
15, probably about 13 to 14. Yeah.
7th, I would have felt okay about.
6,
But it
7,
was for me. It was
8,
every
9,
time
10,
I hit
11,
the 100, I
12,
always
13.
had like that I could pull through. So you'll see here, I had a kick left, but it's only because I slowed down a little bit in that 400 to 600 space. So I was able to have a good finish, at least make up a couple spots for us near the end.
I know you used to drive me crazy on that.
Yeah,
And maybe everybody else on the team.
yeah, I don't blame them.
I was waiting for the galloping ghost to come in, and he came up. Back,
But he came in fast, and Ward pulled him through the zone. He got through traffic, so.
Yeah.
Exactly. He came in strong, which was nice getting out of there. And I don't know, even before this, when they pull you out of the paddock, I remember Tom going by me at some point, and I don't even know what you said, but you were fired up. And you said something to me. I was on the brick wall kind of waiting, and it was intense. So I was ready. So it was all about sort of keeping an even keel right now, as Mike was saying, coming out. You don't want to chop too much wood early on, and
you'll see me up here. I yell at you in a couple seconds, right by the finish line.
I think you started to come on, Chris, with 300. You started making move a little bit there. Yeah. Right there. That's when you started. your knees were up and you were really driving, that's when you started picking up.
You were driving the whole race. This is
Great leg.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. At 200 there, you passed that guy and you focused on the 4 guys right in front of you and you went after them also.
Yeah, just trying to keep the head up, keep the target on the next guy, try and pick them off. And Penn Relays, with those long turns, you can't really wait for the straightaway. So you really got to do some work on the turn. So you're trying to do that here.
Like the Pac-Man game. Take them off.
Yeah. Yep, and just trying to make up as much ground as you can, put Tom in a good spot.
Yeah.
So now what place are you guys in?
Now we might be
leg.
7th or 8th.
7th, maybe 6th, maybe 6th. I'm trying to see.
I think we're in 5th right now when he hands off.
I think that's right.
6th, Chris, Michael, yeah, 6th. Yeah.
And you guys know that you very likely need to, well, 1, run a very quick time, but 2, you're thinking that a 2nd place, maybe a 3rd place finish might carry you through?
As long as we were under 8 minutes, or right around 8 minutes, yes, wherever that took us. But the thing Tom did, just looking at it, is he didn't try to pick everybody off in the first quarter. He made contact. And
you see Tom right now hooking on to Brad Del Muto from North Penn, who's a really tough leg for North Penn.
Yeah.
Who we know we've raced these guys every.
That's Henderson right next to Del Muto.
Yeah, is that Showers?
That's Billy Barge.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tom's just kind of made up, had a great first leg, and tied on to those guys. And you see Del Muto keep driving, and Tom's not losing any ground to him.
Yeah, right. And Brad, picks off the other guy in front of him. Might have been boys and girls or somebody. And then, but Tom, it's true, Jim, you're saying Tom just hooked it right after Brad. Actually, we ended up being the 7th fastest time going in, 7th or 8th from the morning, which surprised me.
How many got in?
12.
12.
Yeah, so looking at the results, I think we're the 7th or 8th team getting in. At 7:59, we broke 8. We broke 8 minutes.
Because I feel like I was tracking right here, but then I thought maybe it was the top 2, or maybe I've been kind of watching the time. I thought at that point, 2nd, we should be able to get in because.
Yeah,
7:58, 7:59.
59.5 or something like that. We were in. I thought we were in then. That was key. Of course, I ran down and looked at the results right away. Just counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get everybody in.
So there you have it. The morning race is done. You guys have withstood some adversity on your way to qualifying for the afternoon. Now take us to that experience before we watch it together. What is that like, running in the Championship of America and realizing that you guys have a chance to do something truly special here?
I think the thing, if I jump in, is that Jimmy and I ran in it the year before, and I can't remember what place we were in, but we made the final, and it's a whole different experience. You come out, and it's towards the end of the Saturday afternoon. It's bright, and you kind of come out in this gladiator pit. The place is packed, and the place is hooting and hollering, and it's either you're on or you're just having a bad day, and it's humbling.
I just had a bad day. I had a bad day.
You did great in the afternoon. But yeah, I think just being there ahead of time and seeing it and kind of getting it under your belt and having that experience, because it's crazy. You walk out there and you're in the paddock and the place is just going bonkers. And you've been in there for a while and you're scared to death. You're separated and they start going and you can't even see the race happening. But I think we didn't sit in the stands. We went in a former alum. We went and hung out in his room. And
Tom, what's the Maida? What's his name?
Arn Maida.
Arn Maida. He was on our.
But kind of regrouped and talked and kind of put our heads together and man, we're in. That was this morning. That's it. let's go. Come on, we got a shot at this. So
we switched up the legs too. So Ward,
Yes.
Ward's gonna lead off in this one, and I'm gonna take what leg did I run? Second or third?
Third leg. Michael was at second. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Was that it, Chris? Can you?
Yeah, we just swapped. We just swapped legs.
Mhm.
Was
How did
that
you
the
feel
first
about-
time you would run in that order? Did you guys swap at any point prior to that over the course of the year?
No, I think I led off most of the year, right?
yeah,
Colonial. Did Chris? Did you lead off at Colonial? I think.
I don't recall Colonials. I thought CB West maybe when we kind of switched stuff around. But honestly, I don't recall. But Tate was definitely running lead off for most of the year.
Okay, yeah. What happened? What did you think, Chris, when we decided to switch up and when we made that decision? What went through your?
Actually, it's funny. My mom just sent me. I saw her for Memorial Day, and she sent me a scrapbook. She had no idea about this, and she had put together a scrapbook. So I was reading some of the stuff, and Tom, in a couple of interviews, tells me, or tells the reporter that we just tell Ward what to do, and he goes out and does it.
Hey, you're a good listener.
Yeah.
But actually, you just kind of laughed and chuckled and just
it actually worked out well for me because this was kind of my first this is the first time I ran outdoor in high school, right? Because I ran indoor freshman year, so I was running outdoor. I wasn't really the pensive guy coming in, going over it. So they just all right, this is what you're gonna do, Ward. Get out strong, hang with the leaders, and trying to put us in a good spot. I was like, okay. I was still recovering from the first race. I feel like I wasn't quite recovering from the first race, to be honest with you. I wasn't used to going 2-a-days. So that experience in the dorm room was horrible because I just kept feeling like not feeling well.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, and trying to get sleep and not really sleeping and hanging in this high-rise dorm room. It's just this white walls. I was like, oh man, this is.
It was bad.
Go.
It was a bad. It wasn't a good time. There's 8 hours between.
Yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Is that what it was?
I think we ran at 9. So. We ran at 9:40 or 9. Yeah, right around that time.
8:40, 4:30.
Do they still? Is Penn Relays different now? Do they do it the day before for the qualifier?
Yes, they do it Friday. You qualify Friday morning.
Okay.
So now you can't run the 4x8 or the DMR. You can't do both anymore.
Okay.
I'll give you a little quick history. Is that's the Cardinal O'Hara rule. Because they got in Friday morning, they were going to do the DM Saturday, Friday afternoon, and they ran their B team in the morning, and coaches went crazy over it. They said that they kept somebody else out. They came back. I think they ran 8:35 or something in the morning. Because they kept their top guys out for the distance medley that Friday evening. And Bob Burdett, in his lack of wisdom, he said, okay, from now on, you have to declare one. Are you going to do the 4x8 or the distance medley? And one of the last years, I still remember, just a real quick one. I was, in 2001, I was the Pennsylvania Coach of the Year and Penn Relay Coach of the Year, high school. And Alan Webb, remember the name Alan Webb?
Yeah.
He ran, they ran from Virginia, I think Lakewood. And I still remember him. Southwood, yeah, okay. I gave them a big plaque and then their watches. And Alan Webb says, Coach, see you tomorrow. Because they're coming back for the 4x8. Sure enough, they came back. He lives out here in Portland. I've met Alan a couple times since then. I remind him about that moment too. But so they don't do that anymore. You have to declare DMR 4x8. And that's what Greg did when they won it in 2013, when they won the distance medley. He had a good 4x8 also, but he declared the distance medley, which, watching you guys or watching Tom running reminded me, what Tom Coyle did in the distance medley. He took his time, made contact, and with 150 to go, took off. So that was a great experience there as well. This was to me was the greatest experience with you guys. This was took the morning jitters away from me. And Chris did. You did let off great. You just had a super lead off leg. You just did what you capable of doing. Maybe you thought you couldn't do it, but you did it.
Yeah.
And I still remember Jimmy coming around, getting the baton, coming around at past me. I was around the 220 mark, and I said, "He's ready," because Jim, your legs were up, your arms were moving.
Yeah, I felt like a different man.
Yeah.
I don't know if nearly threatened you.
Got something to eat.
It is bagels and Gatorade.
Bagels and Gatorade. Yep. Did the trick.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's experience it then together as a team and through the lens of the entire LaSalle community here as well. It's the afternoon, the finale. You guys have qualified for the Championship of America by virtue of the first race, which we just saw. You mentioned the different order, and now so much at stake here. But again, you guys have had 8 hours to relax, or maybe not, and get back out there on the track and ready to do it. So without further ado, let's pull that one up and watch it together.
And it's probably appropriate. This video starts off right away at the start, so that's kind of how it was. Just get thrown in there. And I wasn't on the rail, which was very fortunate. Just get out. We're on the inside, so you got to watch for those guys on the outside coming in, which they kind of do squeeze me a little bit. But I'm like what Jim was saying earlier, I'm not a front runner. I enjoy getting pulled along with the pack a little bit. But it's all about sort of, not panicking when you're in there and just getting pulled along. But when you get stuck in there too long, then, you start to get a little worried. But I'm just trying to get out and stay close to the leaders as possible, really.
You're what, fifth right now? Fifth, sixth?
Fifth or sixth, yes.
What I like, Chris, was that when you came off the first turn, you went out in that second lane.
Yep.
So you wouldn't get boxed, It's something which I think was a great asset, you doing that. So looking at this, you just didn't get caught, because sometimes people love that inside lane. They can't make a move. Where in second lane, you could make a move when you wanted to.
Yeah, so I'm rolling fifth right now with guys with the same tries. It's nice.
Yeah,
that's St. Peter's. That's St. Peter's.
Oh, is that St. Peter's? Okay.
Yeah, it's New Jersey, yeah. They had their uniform.
And again, just coming around the turn, you have those long turns, so you got to do some work on them. Can't wait for a straightaway. So just trying to, just give it all right now to get Mike in good position. I'm trying to get this top guy, but don't quite get him.
You hear the ooh.
Wish it was more. Yeah. And Mike just pulls me through.
Yeah, great lead off.
Yes. Great lead off.
I'm pretty sure I didn't take a breath for the first 150 meters of this race. I was like, all I hear is the crowd, and all I can think to myself is, wow, we're in second place right now. And right around this corner, my dad is right on the track, and I can hear him screaming at me something I probably wouldn't repeat. And I'm just saying to myself, okay, hold on. I mean, and I think by about 300 yards into it, I'm starting to feel a little bit of a flow. But the race in the afternoon feels so different because there's such an energy around you with the crowd that it's really hard to get your head out of it. At this point, I'm just trying to hold on. It looks like I'm, as in every race, that 400 to 600, I'm slowing down. But in this one, there was actually a guy by the name of Tim Gerhardt from Cheltenham. And I hear announcing his name on the loudspeaker. And I think he went like 152 or 151 or something.
He did, 52 something,
yeah.
Same number. So
is he coming right now?
Yep, he's coming. You're right there.
There he is.
Yeah, I remember that stride.
Yeah, he was a super, and right there, he passes me, and I'm thinking, man, I must be going as slow as I've ever gone in my life, and I'm hurting right here. But I'm hearing everybody from LaSalle screaming at me. I'm saying, all right, I just got to hold on and then wait for my last 200. I mean, my last 200 in any one of these races was, okay, give it everything I have, just throw myself across the line, just try to get it there. So, but I'm definitely feeling it at this point.
Oh my gosh.
They're calling us
There we
St.
go.
Peter's. If you listen carefully, they didn't say LaSalle. I heard some guy say St. Peter's.
Mm.
And there's Mike. That's there. There they are coming now.
Good exchange.
Yeah.
St. Peter's just got bumped pretty
Just
badly
go down.
there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Jimmy, take us through this one.
I'm just right now, I was, I feel like I'm in a good spot. I'm hunting people down, feeling okay, which was surprising because I was very unsure about how this race was going to unfold.
At 200, Jim, I thought you were great. I felt you were ready. Just
This
the way
guy's
you
going by me, and I know I have a gear to go with them where I didn't have that in the morning, and now I feel like here I come. I get through 400 and I'm lifting and I catch these guys. I think I'm actually going to go by them, but I don't know if I ever get by them. I feel like I was going to go by them. So I feel like it was a different race, and right now I know I got something left in the well. So when I go to it, I got a little bit of a kick. But really all I'm trying to do is get Tom in a position where he can do his work.
Right.
Leadoff team they disappear somewhere in here. They just go.
Yeah,
There he is. Yeah.
And this is a little bit
It's
different
ahead
than
of boys.
this is a little bit different than current day, right? There are some Jamaican high school teams in this.
Oh yeah.
You.
22-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
4 in the top 6 were.
And that's not the case today, right?
Yeah, it's still 4x8. It still is.
4
Yeah,
by
they
8,
still
okay.
run.
This is
Yeah.
this is medley. No, this is medley. They're not there. What amazed me, I don't know if you guys watching this, that out of the 12 teams, 4 of them were from our association. North Penn,
Yeah.
LaSalle, Cheltenham, and Upper Dublin.
Yeah.
Out of 12 teams, 4 of them were from our area. That's kind of amazing.
I mean, that leadoff guy, that anchor guy is gone. Is that St. Elizabeth, or?
Yeah, that's who.
But yeah, that place is so loud. There's 48,000 people. You can't even hear. You can't even hear yourself breathing practically. The place is starting to turn up a little bit. It's trying to track this guy down. Not doing anything stupid early. So we're still on
Right.
go. And the thing I do remember is late in the afternoon too, and on a sunny day, you get to that backstretch and literally your eyes, it's like it takes a couple seconds for your eyes adjust. You lose focus a little bit. Like where am I?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shadows at this.
And then you come out of it, and it's like startling. It's like turning a light on in the dark. Like, whoa, where am I? But yeah, we're running right now, trying to get by him. Like Ward's strategy, you can't get hung out in the turn. You got to get by him, and it's one of those. See what happens. If maybe I've got something a little bit left. And this right here, I was trying to look at my feet to see if there's anyone kind of whooping me, because they're starting to whoop a little bit right now.
The noise.
You're getting whooped.
This is a Jamaican team coming up.
Yeah.
Place is going.
And that's where, Veer-Tech, and that's where all the Jamaicans traditionally sit on that backstretch, the home stretch.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Extra gear, held them off. There's the win team there.
And you guys finish as the top,
right?
And you guys finish as the top American team in the Championships of America.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable accomplishment there. How did that feel when you crossed the line?
Still, it's amazing that to pull that off from the morning and to do that, to be that team. That was our goal. Our goal was at least to be the top American team and to give a shot. You kind of can't tell. You roll the dice with.
There they are.
Yeah, I felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders.
There's the 4 of you.
Bunch of kids there, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
24 years ago. That was exciting.
I mean, I think for me, I appreciate it more now that I'm older. I mean, back then, I mean, I think I was 16. It was the first time I've ever been in a big meet, and I'm like, oh yeah, we deserve to be here, and I'm happy we won, happy we did it. But now when I kind of look back at how lucky I was to run with guys that got us in that kind of position. I mean, you can run track your whole life and never be in a race like that and have a crowd reaction for you like that. I mean, there's professional athletes who don't get those kind of reactions and run in that kind of scenario. So I mean, I feel so lucky just to have had the experience, because I mean, it's something you'll never get again. I mean, it's crazy. It almost made me kind of sad a little bit when I watched it to remember what that was like, because it was so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Mike. I feel a similar way, just not appreciating it to the full extent at the time of what accomplished, and having this group and Coach D just lead us through. I mean, the Penn Relays for sure was a great experience, but that whole season, just things coming together, some adversity for sure, but just, the training with these guys, running workouts and just watching Tate's hair flop in front of you and just trying to get pulled along. So it was,
that flop.
it was special.
Yeah, Jim, I think you and I were pretty fired up. We got in the van, or we got close to the van. We had the it wasn't the wagon wheel that we wanted, but we had a wheel. We had some watches, and we were pretty fired up. We were jumping up and down, kind of hugging, high fiving, like, oh man,
There it is.
You guys still have the watches?
Of course.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah.
Just to let you know. Exciting.
So
Yeah, it was exciting. It was something like Tom had mentioned earlier. We made the finals the year before, and it was one of our goals going through summer and going into cross country that, we were going to have a good team again, and we were going to, see what we could do at Penn Relays. So we almost did make it because of me, but luckily.
Well, that's why you have the three other guys on the team.
Yeah. And it really was. It was a miraculous race that they put together. Because like I said, Penn Relays doesn't lend itself to mistakes. You make a mistake, you're out. Like, Westchester Henderson was with us in North Penn all year. They weren't in that final. I don't know what happened to them. Right?
Right. They didn't get it. Yeah.
That's what happens at Penn Relays. The best teams don't always make it, and then you gotta have some luck, and you gotta have some studs. Luckily, I was handing off to 3 studs.
Jimmy, your leg in the final put Tom with the ability to do what he did, man. I mean, that was a huge step up for you just from the morning race. I mean, you put Tom in position to do what Tom was able to do all year long, which was, put us in contention to be winning, or a chance to win every race. And I mean, that was huge.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a great leg.
you came by with when you had one to go and you could see the look on your face. I'm like, all right, man, we're going to get ourselves in a shooting match here. Let's see what happens. But yeah, you definitely, that was a phenomenal to come off the morning. Everyone has bad days, but to come back and put it behind you. You did that many, many times, ran with you for many, many years and had that ability. But it's a beauty of running, right? You move on. So you did it. And, it was a great 4 people together. And we had a lot of really good races. So a lot of fun.
A lot of fun that year.
Yep.
I think, Jim, you came back, you ran like 7 seconds faster.
Yeah.
In the afternoon than in the morning. Think about that.
It was my slowest race of the year in the morning, though.
That was great, But I think the 3 of you said, right, you had your job to do in the championship race, and you put Tom in the position to do what he did. You knew he was the one that's going to bring it home, and he did. He was tough, and he was patient. I like the way, watching the whole race again. Of course, I'm so excited. I'm worse than the Jamaicans jumping in and jumping up and down during the race. But looking at it on the video, I see how patient Tom was. He didn't go out and try to take it all over in the first 500 meters, But I think a lot of our training will lend to that too. We did quite a few 600s or 660s and some quarters and 200s that kick. I think so. A lot of you guys watching really came in strong the last 150 yards. That was. I think Chris hit it it's a long turn, and you can run the risk of starting too soon and running out of oxygen and gas. And you guys just did it perfectly that day. You did that day. Yeah.
Well, there you go. The 1996 top American team in the Penn Relays Championship of America 4x800 meter relay. Guys, this was great. I really appreciate the time and sharing this experience with each other one more time, and of course with the greater LaSalle community. It's been an absolute pleasure here.
I have one more comment. You know, after the Penn Relays, of course, when they went on and set the school record still 7:43.3 in that race up in New Rochelle, and that was great credit to them too. That they ran 8 seconds faster a month later because we didn't go to the States. So we finished the champs, Catholic champs, the second week of May, and we didn't run again until the first weekend of June. So to decide to stay together for 3 extra weeks was a credit to those guys. And I really appreciated that too. And we prepared for that, and school records right there. They did it. They knew what they had to do, and they reached up for the challenge every meet, and they did it. So.
And you mentioned this earlier, but that record still stands to this day.
It does. It does. It's a tough record to beat. That's
no doubt about that.
Considering how old we are, yes, that is impressive. So.
But Bob, this has been great. Just going over this and sharing it with these guys again. Being out on the West Coast myself now in Portland, I don't get a chance to see a lot of them. So it was really personally great to see Chris and Mike and Jim and Tom personally again. Yeah, and thank God for Zoom that we could do this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
It's good seeing you too, Coach.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Yeah. Staying healthy.
I think you have an aged day.
Yeah, you look. I think you started a pretty good tradition there, Mr. Devine. That you kind of, especially these days, they don't wear the tricolors, but they wear like a championship shirt. And
I know.
Really hard to be able to wear them. And I think when you put that shirt on, you're like, man, I'm going in a battle. But it's so great to see what's become of the program and the program you kind of developed, and that came in front of us. You kind of heard the stories, and you looked up on the board and like, man, someday I want to be like that. And then you kind of, these days you look back and you see all the guys that have come along, and I remember just watching that 2013 DMR down there for that. I mean, that was amazing. I'm jumping up and down myself, still get the chills for that one. It's just such a cool tradition, and the kind of the leadership that you've given that back in the day Tom Donnelly provided to you and then gave it to Greg, that's the coach. It's an awesome, it's still gives me very good pride to see that now they're the white and blue shorts, and man, someone's going to get whooped on today, and it's not going to be Sal. So great tradition.
The only one I know I've seen with a tricolor is Steve Blasi, Dr. Steve.
Of course.
He had some.
How did he get out of LaSalle with one of those?
I don't know yet, but Steve. I've seen some races where he's been pictured in his 5Ks and where he's up around, and he's got the tricolor. I said, "Where do you get that?" Oh, I know. Some of you guys might have them too. I don't know.
D, I'll maybe sort of out one of the guys, I think from the class of 2010, which is the year right after me. He's keeping a low profile. He's not wearing them at 5Ks, but I do believe that there is one of those hanging around in Philadelphia somewhere with a class of 2010 guy. I'll let you figure out who that might be.
Did he run cross country?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go back on my.
Yeah, we'll leave that for some suspense. But again, guys, really appreciate the time. This was wonderful and a great edition of LaSalle Legends.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
I was just thinking about our season too, where to start. And the first thing I thought about is what we accomplished is one thing, but the weather was terrible.
Oh.
It snowed. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the snowblower on the track.
Yep.
Snow and ice all winter.
The ice storm. Yeah.
Remember they did 2 lanes, and we did like a lane and a half. On the one that was it like January '96?
Yep.
Yeah.
The big ice storm. It closed a week and a half.
And it's amazing what we accomplished in that. I was just thinking about the weather. And Tom, your dad and I he had the blower, and times we shoveled that track just to get 150 yards in, and we accomplished. And I think, thank God for Cobden and Newbold.
Yeah.
That was our salvation.
You literally only got mad at me a couple times, but there was a legendary wrestling match. Snow. And we had like that area. I was involved with egging it on, and you almost killed me. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's not us. I think it was Jeremy Pallow and someone else, but it was amazing.
Oh, Pallow.
Like
we had
28 degrees, 25 inches of snow.
45 minutes shoveling the snow. We had a lot of like
pent up aggression.
Killed me. What are you doing down here, Tom? I'm like, what am I supposed to do? It was a great fight. Like, yeah. I wasn't fighting. I was like the promoter. Tate was Don King. I might have been the other guy, but yeah. So, I mean, there's always, we had all sorts of fun. I mean, you taught us to have fun, work hard.
Oh, yes. And there's a lot of things happened that I never found out about, thank God.
Yeah, somebody would sneak over.
Like children, things you find out after when they're 35 or something. They say, oh, Dad, we did this, and I know you guys. Yeah,
I remember, was it our year that there was a part of the straightaway that crumbled? So they basically, and then somebody came along and just threw some rocks there into some asphalt so we could keep practicing on the track or something. The Horgan brothers.
Oh, yeah. There was more than just one place. There was a couple places. On the turn after the 200 coming around towards the finish line, there's a couple plot holes, and I got some macadam and banged it down and down the finish line. There was a little dip too. So
yeah,
it's not there now. They have a beautiful track now, thank God.
Whole different.
We had some questionable tracks at the time, but we managed to do well in it. We rose to the occasion. We knew
there were some dead spots on that track.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you say very modestly they have a nice track over there now. It's a track named in your honor, my friend.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank
That was
you.
the last time we saw you. Was at the dedication.
Well deserved.
Yeah. That was enjoyable. It's quite an honor to have that track there, and and a tradition that we've had is sort of being continued by Greg Bilecki, that's for sure, as coach. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, man.
I think there's some of the highlights that you guys, went through and accomplished together. And I know you made that pact prior to the Catholic Champs to take the sweep. And I don't think any other school ever had a sweep like that before. You guys are the first one to do that. And the only other team to do that since then actually has been LaSalle with Greg Bilecki's teams in the 1,600 the mile and 3,200 meters. They've gone 1 through 6 times, which is incredible. Incredible. So,
yeah, I think some of his cross country teams have beaten the league like single-handedly. Like the rest of the league compared to them, they win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can put the bets nice. Oh yeah.
I think it's the track. It's that track that he got. That's what it is.
The divine track.
Cheating.
They were doing that beforehand, but Greg has done a great job, and it's something I've been really proud of, just watching him. And I still, to the guys around, I still have all the results of every race you guys ran across country.
Really?
And I'm still keeping the results of Greg's present team by hand. Nothing on the computer. It's all by hand.
Wow.
Like Chris. I never had to write a line of some typing, so. I still have the results. So, I can tell everybody what you guys ran in cross country in every race since you ran at LaSalle. So, it was great. One guy we forgot. It was our backup game was Richie Tate. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the story? How I know how I got the medals Monday morning, but what happened? Who threw the medals out, or what happened there?
Everyone was afraid of me. Tate was the heavy. Maybe I was the Tate that did all the talking, but yeah, it was that the meet of champs.
Meet of champs.
Champs, yeah.
Yeah.
Who didn't run?
Just had a bad day.
Did you not run, Chris? Or somebody was sick? Because Richie ran that relay.
Yeah, I think I was sick.
You were sick, Chris.
So,
right?
Yeah.
Richie, and yeah.
Yeah, we put Richie in, and he was up to the task. He
did.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He really did.
You got in a car accident.
Remember, yeah, we had on our school that like Thursday before the meet, the guy who drove us to school got in a car accident, and Richie bruised his hip real bad. We didn't think he was going to be able to run, but he ran, and we just all ran terribly that day. We just weren't focused or whatever it was.
Flat.
Yeah.
And we had those two good teams, Westchester Henderson, North Penn. They were both very, very solid teams.
Yep.
So the car.
Yeah, we're in the same car riding home, and you were so mad. You were like pounding on the dashboard. I might have been driving. I don't know who was driving. You're like, man, we don't deserve it. We were third or something or second.
Yeah.
You're like, give me your medal. And it's like, I handed it over. Richie, give me your medal. I have hesitation. Right out the window. I chucked him. I'm like, fine. That race is behind me. And then, I don't know, you come whistling down, Coach Devine comes whistling down on Monday. You're like the cat that swallowed the canary. You're wearing these 4 medals pinned to your shirt. It's like, what the
Yep.
don't forget about that one. I got them. We're like, what?
I'm pretty sure my dad was right behind you guys.
Yes, your dad picked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
It
there was a
great
week.
moment.
It was a week between meet at champs and states.
Yep.
So that was kind of the message. Like,
Mhm.
don't take second,
Yeah.
don't take third.
Yeah. That could have been a changing point too, I think, mentally of you guys, that we're not going to lose again. We're not going to, not to those teams anyway. We're not going to lose to them, and we didn't. I think a lot of things were leading to that point, and then losing Richie's medals for a while was a turning point. We got so intense that this is not going to happen again against those teams. And you guys, I think that was a maturity level that you reached at that point.
Did George Mason, were they pretty hot at the time? Like, it was like Julius Achon. I remember there was like a really, really fast, Netherlands, like ran right in front of us. And the place, he dropped like a 144, and the place was going bonkers.
He hawked Julius Achon from like way behind.
Again, you're in the paddock area, and you're like, oh my God, what are we about to get into? Go get it, Ward.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He'll just run.
It's the best way to do it.
I don't think he knew what he was up to, but he ran phenomenal, like textbook leadoff leg.
Yes, he did. It was great.
Tate told a funny one though. He said, "Do you remember when we went to Bucknell? To like, you talked us up like, oh, it's gonna be a big race and a big invite, and it's a college race, and the high school teams. There's like 4 teams.
There's a showcase race. That's
what
showcase. 4x8
and
high
one
school
was like the
showcase.
local team.
We're going up to Bucknell for this.
The local team's running, and it's the local team is like the anchor, and it's the coach of Bucknell's kid.
Carlisle High or something like that.
The team is like lined the track.
Lewisburg High.
Yeah, Lewisburg High or Lewisburg area high school. And Jim's like, "Do you remember?" I'm like, "No." He's like, we stole their lunch money. He's like, we annihilated them. We lapped the field.
We ate their lunch. That was bad. It was like us. It was Lewisburg, and then there was one other team there, and it was a college meet, and they had this one race. It was a 4x8, and I guess they thought they were going to compete with us, and we just ate their lunch. Like,
I think this is also dating Bob. Back in the day, you didn't find out times from like what they're doing in California until like USA Track and Field News would come out. And it was like the end of the month, and you used to get it in your office, Mr. B.
Yeah.
Look them up, and you're like, oh man, we're in there. Like, so like you didn't get like, you couldn't go on Flow Stat or all the different die stat, all the stuff like by the minute. So like you kind of remember we walked into that indoor meet, and we were talking about Reggie Lewis, but you look at that track and you're like, man, this track is fast. Like we're gonna run hard, and it's that coming out of that race. And I'm like, man, we're not just like a state team. Like we just lost by a step to some guy that's 6'4". Tech. Like we ran, and we should have won that race. I don't know, we were right there.
Yeah.
I think walking out of that meet, we're like, man, we've got something here.
Yeah. And we saw them again at Penn and beat them at Penn in trials. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But great group of guys to run with. such an awesome season.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun.